Hi. So this is one of my videos. The first book I chose was The Hello Goodbye Window, by Norton Juster and Chris Reshka. I might be saying some of these names wrong, so I'm not sure. This age group is, I would say, still elementary age, but upper elementary. Wouldn't really recommend for like kindergarten maybe. The pictures in this book are very, I would describe them as like watercolor, if that makes sense. They're very just abstract and colorful and bright, as you can see. They're not all, like, you can't make faces or pictures or like exactly of what a kid or someone in the story looks like. Like, that's his papa. You can't tell really what he'd look like, so it gets kids' imaginations going, and just that there's not an exact picture of exactly what's happening. It just shows someone talking to someone, you can't really tell. They know the names like Poppy or whatever, but it's not saying exactly what's going on. So that's that one. Noah's Ark was another one I chose, by Peter Spear. This is more in-depth and detail. This is another one that's definitely higher elementary, a very common one. This is also can be considered a religious one, technically. So yeah, it's very in-depth because just the detail of the pictures. This just very animals, which could be good for your lower elementaries, just kind of letting them imagine what happens and like depict. The pictures are very, very detailed. Obviously very different from the Hello Goodbye Window one. This has no words, but I think it might just be too complicated for like the really young grades, if that makes sense. Obviously they can create their own stories in their head, but they're not going to be able to, I think, make sense of it, if that makes sense. So, but they would be able to tell that, animals are getting on the boats, there's this person who releases animals because animals can like speak to them but aren't really sure of the actual storyline. That's that one. Then I have Sylvester and the Magic Pebble by William Stegg. This one I think is has like more describing pictures, so the pictures go along with what's going on. And not that the other ones didn't, but these show exact scenes that are happening with the captions. And this is also same age group, not pre-K, definitely not pre-K. Very wordy, so a kindergartner, first grader could not read this. Second grader, probably not. Maybe a higher level second grader. But this is also one that could be read, so that would allow them to do that as well. The Little House by Virginia Lee Burton. This one. I think this one is more just even like the texture of the pages are papery, not that glossy, and I think that gives just a different feel for like the type of pictures they are. Like, again, they're kind of like that watercolor paint also in this one as well. Not the exact picture, not a scene by scene. It just shows, you know, in the fall when the days grow shorter, the nights are colder. You know, it kind of, it paints a general picture, but there's no, like Sylvester and the Magic Pebble, a storyline that it has to follow. So there's that. Next one was Owl Moon by Jane Yolen and illustrated by John Schnatter. So there's this one. So another one that could be read to younger grades. Probably challenging for them to read. This is another one that kind of goes along with it. Takes up the whole page of the picture of both pages, so it is more for them a visual for them to like look at as you read. Still not showing exactly what's going on. Again, the watercolor, which is I think a common look throughout the Caldecott winning picture books. That's what I noticed. That one. And for different stories, I think it's good to have like a general photo and not exactly of the photo of what is exactly being said in some, because it allows younger students to imagine or, you know, have a general outlook or photo to relate to, but cannot kind of like make up what they think the characters look like in their head or the type of boat that's being driven. Next one was Grandfather's Journey by Alan Say. This one. This one's simple, or compared to some of the other ones, those were longer. This one has it's kind of more old school, I would say, like not olden times, but you know, it shows like the old trains and just what they're wearing. But this is very obviously, you can tell, just one sentence, like deserts with rocks, like enormous sculptures, amazed him. You know, it's not an exact picture. It's the generic rock type of thing. So it could be these rocks are in Arizona, these rocks are in New York, these rocks are in somewhere. So they're not so specific. And just throughout, yeah, that's that one. The House in the Night by Susan Marie Swanson and pictures by Beth Cromes. This one I think is unique because it's all black and white for the cover, and with the pops of like orange, yellow. Just also throughout the book, but very simple, lower grade, pre-K. You could read this to like 3-year-old program type thing. Beginning for independent reading. It also, I think, could be overwhelming. Picture-wise, can be a little overwhelming for a younger student, but the reading level would fit perfect. And it's the black wash, but has like the pops of the orange yellows that I think that make this so unique. And just the pictures are like a sketch almost. They're not like a watercolor, an actual paint or a photo. They kind of have like lines and just like checkers to them, which I think is super cool. Okay. And Officer Buckle and Gloria by Peggy Rathman. This is, again, I remember reading this when I was younger, so it's kind of like cool to like look back and look at a different perspective than just like a kid. This is one I would say shows the scenario. It shows the paper airplane being thrown. It shows, you know, the kids acting out and fighting in the hallways and describing with the picture. again, the drawings are not fine pencil lines like you would see on like a Google image or something. Like, they're very creative. So that's that. Oh, the age group for this is elementary. So I would think it's 2nd to 5th. So there's that. And then my personal favorite, Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Marie Sendak. So this I had read to me throughout my whole like childhood. Low level, can be read to younger. Especially now kids have the movie out, so they may have seen that or can have something to relate to. Pictures are very, like a soft but bright, if that makes sense. You know, the monsters don't look, they're kind of scary, but not like crazy or like your typical like T-Rex monster, if that makes sense. And just like, it gives you what they're kind of looking like. There's that. And then my last one, Polar Express. Had this one. It's for my parents' Christmas present. By Chris Van Allsburg. And just, I think this book, age group wise, is definitely not pre-K, younger. But I think with just the movie being so well known, I think that you could maybe get away with reading it to students, if that makes sense. The age group is not for that young, but depending on your class or the student you're working with, may be able to handle you reading this to them for those pre-K levels. Because I do or might have that background of the movie. These pictures are very dark, not bright and cheery, really. You know, Santa's still a dark background, dark coats, like very, not like a bright white, red and green typical Christmas book you would see. So those are the books I chose.